We are very excited this morning to talk about a project in the Bronx that is evoking the name of a local legend from long ago. Frankie Frisch is a baseball Hall of Famer who played for the New York Giants in the 20s and later with the St. Louis Cardinals in the 30s. He managed a slew of baseball teams, a three-time All-Star as a player, finished with a career batting average of .316, was NL MVP in 1931, and won 4 World Series in total. Frisch was born and raised right here in the Bronx, attended Fordham Prep and later Fordham University, where he starred in 4 sports: baseball, football, basketball, and track. His speed earned him the nickname the Fordham Flash, and now a field in the Bronx bearing his name is getting renovations to bring baseball back to the neighborhood. To tell us more about it, we bring in Executive Director for Friends of Mosholu Parkland, Elizabeth Quaranta. Good morning, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So excited to talk to you about this, and I was hoping that you could tell us more about this renovation and how you have championed to get funding for it through New York City Council member for District 11, Andrew Cohen.
So on behalf of Friends of Mosholu Parkland, we have been collaborating together with the Bedford-Mosholu Neighborhood Association, President Barbara Stronza, and together we have reached out to councilmen so that we can get this very well needed field, funded. It's a very well loved field by the old timers, but it hasn't been really used in the past couple of years, and so we were afraid that we were going to lose that field. A couple of playgrounds have been renovated, but there was no mention of the field. So between both organizations, we felt that it was a gem in this community, which is why we really worked aggressively getting the $5 million that it's going to take to renovate this field.
Oh, that's excellent. I love the backdrop for you too on our virtual format.
Nice. Yes. So thanks to the New York Historical Society, this is a picture of the real Frisch Field. And those are real people sitting in the bleachers that hold 3,200 people.
So what was the community input from New York City Parks in February before going to the design phase for this project?
So, you had mentioned something really important, and that was the fact that Frankie Frisch was called the Fordham Flash, and that was, he had all these skills. He had the football, he had the basketball, he had the track, he had the baseball. So even though the community, the old timers, wanted to keep the field just as a baseball field, fast forward, we're in 2021. We have a lot of community members that come from diverse cultures and backgrounds, and so there's a lot of different athletic games that they play. So we wanted to incorporate all of the other skills that Frankie Frisch had. And so some of the renovations that came up, ideas for the renovations was having a track around the field, good for 1 or 2 people, jogging, power walking outside near the perimeter of the fence. The other idea was to have a single or double unit basketball court at the end by the Botanical Square, but nothing to interfere with the actual game of playing baseball, So we wanted to leave the field reseeded, put new sod in, get in new dugouts. But that was the one thing that is a priority to us, was not to change the field in any way, but to bring homage to the person who it's named after.
I know that you said that you're grateful to have agencies and partners who are helping to make this happen. I mean, how much excitement is there around this project? Because the neighborhood must feel as lucky as you guys to have this field basically in their backyard and have the opportunity to have baseball back.
We are working with Parks and Recreation, Bedford-Mosholu, Community Board 7. We do also work with Montefiore Community Center because they also have a team, and hopefully the 52 precinct, because I did find out recently that the terrain of the field actually used to belong to the 52 precinct many moons ago, and so it'd be nice to see some games maybe from them. So it is exciting. We do want to bring the game back into the minds of the youth that we have in the area. So for all of us, we watch, the series and the old timers, but for the youth that is, coming up, it's great that they're into soccer and they're into the volleyball, but we do want to keep our baseball tradition, the American tradition. So it is definitely going to be not just a place to play games, but it's also going to be a educational field.
I think there's definitely a goal, even by Major League Baseball, to bring the game back to the youth, regardless of color or sex, even.
That's right. That's right. And we have, famous players. So we need that representation here.
In your mind, still, what are the benefits, in your opinion, of having sportsmanship, games, and basically programming at this field that, like you said, really hasn't had much going on recently?
Well, one of the other things that we are focusing on is how to make sure that our tight-knit community stays tight-knit. We have an exponential housing development in the area. The Webster Avenue has been rezoned, and so it has opened up for a lot of buildings that are 7 to 8 units, over 80 to 100 units per building. So before we get to city-like, we really need to have things like this in place so that it remains a community that is safe and that is healthy. So it's really important to keep Frisch Field, intact and ready for the community to use.
Your organization is grassroots. I know that from talking to you before this interview that, you still have a few things that you would like to continue to work on with the Parks Department. They will not cover portable lighting for night games or a large scoreboard, some of the things that you guys have discussed, but they will cover the renovation and the new ground, natural turf, new dugouts, etc. But what's next? So how can people help out maybe to actually finish the project the way that you would like it to be finished?
So right now we're at a point where input has been collected. I'm sure they'll accept a few more because the designers are just getting their heads together. There has been a lot of input though, and there were people who sent in their mock-ups, and which we thought was so sweet. And so the designers are going to, look at what is, what the goal is, which is going to take a while. I think the best thing that we can all do is to continue to, to support the project, to come out and volunteer in keeping the area still safe and clean, join with some of our Clean Streets initiative. So that has to keep going so that we can continue, that habit even when the field, reopens up again. Other ways is maybe to get a couple of small businesses and agencies, organizations to pool in for the other things that we can't get because it's not covered under the 5 million. So we definitely cannot cover the portable lighting. It would be great to have evening games, when it turns dusk, just for safety's sake and to see the ball, among other things. So we and the other thing that we're going to be needing is the scoreboard. I mean, who doesn't want to keep score? I think it would be awesome to bring that whole image of having the players go up and change the scoreboard, numbers. So all kinds of support would be helpful.
Friends of Mosholu Parkland's mission is to engage the Bedford Park and Norwood communities to garden, grow, and develop fostering practices of environmental sustainability. Elizabeth, thank you for getting and growing some more baseball here in the Bronx too. Very exciting.
Thank you for having me, and and we are certainly looking forward to continuing to honor Frankie Frisch in this 86-year-old baseball field as of this year.